An insane war of words has erupted between Max Verstappen and Damon Hill ahead of the Brazilian GP. Verstappen has hit back hard after Hill insulted his racing tactics, calling them dangerous and comparing him to a cartoon villain. The tension is heating up, and Max is not holding back. Let's dive into this video today to know all the details of this fiery feud. Recently, there's been a bit of tension between former F1 champion Damon Hill and current three-time champion Max Verstappen. The issue started with comments Damon made on a Sky F1 podcast. He suggested Max doesn't always drive fairly and even compared him to Dick Dastardly, a cartoon villain from the Wacky Races who was known for playing dirty. Hill questioned Verstappen's ability to race fairly, describing his driving style as daft and accusing him of using fear and intimidation on the track. The criticism came after Verstappen received a combined 20-second penalty for forcing Lando Norris off the track twice during the Mexico Grand Prix. Hill clarified that his comments weren't a personal vendetta, but stood by his opinion on Verstappen's aggressive tactics. In response, Verstappen, a three-time world champion, dismissed Hill's remarks, saying, "I don't listen to those individuals, I just do my own thing. I think I know what I'm doing." He also expressed frustration with his critics, calling them biased and very annoying. He further said, "I am a three-time world champion. It is my 10th year in Formula One. I know what I'm doing. I listen to people that are close to me and objective, and not just there to stir the 'I cannot say the word because I will get another' penalty. Some people are being very annoying, and I know who those people are, and I don't pay attention to them. Some people are biased, it is fine, and it is not my problem at the end of the day. I continue with my life and I keep performing." As tensions over racing tactics continue to simmer, Formula One drivers, including Max Verstappen, are set to meet with the FIA at the penultimate round in Qatar. The goal is to clarify the rules of on-track combat and address ongoing debates about fairness and consistency. Verstappen shared his thoughts on the growing complexity of the sport's regulations, saying, "It's never going to be perfect. If you remove rules during a battle, you want more rules because things aren't clear. Then, if you add more rules, people want fewer. It's a cycle that keeps going back and forth." The three-time world champion expressed frustration with what he sees as an overly complicated rulebook, adding, "Do I think it's over-regulated? Yes. The rulebook is getting bigger and bigger, and I don't think that's the right way forward." Unlike in Austin, where Max Verstappen avoided penalties for forcing Lando Norris off the track twice, Mexico brought harsher consequences. Verstappen received 2 severe penalties for similar incidents, sparking renewed debate about consistency in enforcement. However, Verstappen appeared unfazed, simply stating, "You win some, you lose some. That's how it is in racing." He acknowledged his competitive drive, saying, "I like to win, I don't like to lose, but I'll always try to maximize the results." The penalties weren't the only thing on Verstappen's mind. During the FIA press conference, he highlighted what he sees as inconsistencies in how rules are applied. Referring to an earlier community service penalty for swearing, Verstappen pointed out that Charles Leclerc had sworn in the post-race Mexico presser without any consequences. While holding back his own frustration to avoid further penalties, Verstappen remarked, "Apparently, it only counts for me. It's better I don't swear again." When asked whose advice he values amid criticism from figures like Damon Hill, Verstappen was clear that people that are objective and close to me, not just there to stir. He dismissed external critics, adding, "Some people are just very annoying. I know who they are, but I don't pay much attention to them." For Verstappen, his confidence stems from the support of a trusted circle and his ability to make his own decisions. As he put it, "I think I've got to this stage of my career with the right people around me. I know what I'm doing." His focus remains on racing, despite the noise from critics and the ongoing debates about FIA regulations. Damon Hill stands by Max Verstappen criticism. Damon Hill has continued to defend his critical view of Max Verstappen's racing style, standing by his belief that the Dutch driver uses fear and intimidation on the track. Hill, the 1996 world champion, emphasized that while he may not agree with Verstappen's approach, his comments were not a vendetta against the current champion. Verstappen, however, has expressed frustration with the criticism he receives, feeling that some individuals in the paddock are a bit biased against him. Hill responded to Verstappen's remarks about critics, saying it's almost universal disapproval. Hill elaborated on his thoughts about Verstappen's tactics, acknowledging that Verstappen has his own strategy on the track. Speaking on Sky F1, Hill said, "Yes, I do. I think that he's using fear and intimidation, but I think he also has explained a little bit more about his tactics, which has been that he regards it as a gamble. Sometimes it may pay off, sometimes he may get the better of the stewards. They might not apply a penalty and are also using it as a way of compromising the title contender in Lando Norris." He even recognized that there was some logic behind Verstappen's actions, even if they appeared aggressive. So, there is some logic. There's some method to his angriness, if you want to call it that, on the track, Hill added. While Verstappen firmly believes in his approach and his ability to make his own decisions, Hill questioned whether the tactics were fair, asking, but as he says, he knows what he's doing, but is it right? And is it fair? This ongoing back and forth reflects the differing views on racing styles in F1, with Verstappen focused on winning by any means necessary, while Hill continues to challenge whether those methods align with the sport's principles of fairness. I think there is also a rule somewhere, and the regulations have said that everyone has to drive. They're there to ensure fairness, and we shouldn't be condoning driving cars off the track. This comment reflects his concerns about Verstappen's tactics, which he feels go against the spirit of racing. Despite Verstappen's dismissive response to critics, Hill made it clear that he wasn't expecting an apology from the three-time world champion, explaining, "No, I think I'm clear about what I understand Max to be, and he's been consistent from the moment he arrived in Formula One." He acknowledged that Verstappen had always used what many regarded as dangerous tactics. He said, "He was using what was regarded as dangerous tactics, and regulations have been brought in to clear up some of the things that he himself has brought upon himself because of the way he drives." Hill pointed out that the FIA has implemented new regulations to address some of Verstappen's more aggressive moves on the track, such as changing lines in braking zones, which he used to frequently do. The FIA brought in regulations, obviously, to try and contain it, because they don't want racing like that, and they don't want dangerous situations as well. Responding to Verstappen's claim that the criticism was coming from individuals, Hill clarified, "It's not individuals, it's almost universal disapproval. That's the point." He emphasized that the broader issue isn't personal animosity toward Verstappen, but a desire for fair and safe racing. Hill argued that if all drivers raced like Verstappen, it would ruin the sport. If everybody was doing this, it would be daft, it would be silly, and it wouldn't be worth watching. Reflecting on the infamous 2021 incident in Brazil, Hill noted, "We like close racing. Here we are in Sao Paulo. This is where it all started a little bit in 21 with him running deep into turn 4 and everyone went, 'Hang on a minute. You can't just run the guy clean off the road to defend,' and he's still doing it." What did Norris say? Moreover, Lando Norris and McLaren CEO Zak Brown both criticized Max Verstappen's driving after their on-track clash in Mexico. Norris described Verstappen's actions as dangerous, while Brown called Verstappen's attempts to keep Norris behind ridiculous, adding that enough is enough. Norris revealed that he hasn't spoken to Verstappen since the incident, stating, "We've not spoken and I don't think we need to." He emphasized, "I've got nothing to say. I still have a lot of respect for Max and everything he does. Not respect for what he did last weekend, but respect for him as a person and what he has achieved." Norris made it clear that it wasn't his responsibility to teach Verstappen, saying, "But it's not for me to speak to him. I'm not his teacher, I'm not his mentor. Max knows what he has to do. He knows he did wrong. Deep down he does, and it's for him to change, not for me." Despite their tension, Norris acknowledged that the stewards had handled the situation well, stating, "The stewards did a good job. I think 99% of people who watch Formula One and know Formula One agree with that." Looking ahead to the Brazilian Grand Prix, Norris expressed hope for a cleaner race, saying, "Obviously I hope for a cleaner battle than we had, but it's not up to me." So, what do you think of the insane war of words between Damon Hill and Max Verstappen? Comment below your views and subscribe for more such videos.